going. You guys can all see me in that camera, I hope. I should be orange, red, and yellow. That means I'm not a ghost. I'm the warmest thing inside the picture. Everything around me should be somewhat blue or black. We are going to try to keep somebody's skin temperature in view most of the time. We have a pretty large group. It's going to be easy to do. Watch what happens when I leave the picture. That orange, red, and yellow is going to go somewhere else. So it's going to look for the warmest thing so it can kind of balance itself out. We're going to be warmer than even the hot temperature we have tonight. It is recording already. So you will have this full video back. However, this guy has been giving me a little bit of trouble with the new update on the app. 2 nights ago and the night before that, it didn't record anything. Last night I had bits and pieces. Tonight we're gonna kind of play a little bit longer. So every 45 minutes or so, just kind of look at your watch. I want you to stop the video and reset it just to make sure we're not going to lose it. So how you do that is you hit the red square, it'll turn to a circle, give it a few seconds, then tap it again. You will hold this horizontal all night long so I can upload it to YouTube for you guys so you have something nice to watch.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, we got so many good names. Good. So, I know who I'm going to. Let's get into some spirit boxes. Spirit boxes, I have 3 different styles. I'll kind of explain what they are first. You want to be able to watch it. Yeah. It's all about you. So, spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. On your TV show, like Jack Vegas gives you, if you're not familiar with him, he's an over-the-top ghost hunter.
We are.
Okay.
Every night we're watching.
This is not the way we're going to do that. This is actually slowed down. If we catch disembodied voices, which is just through white noise, not radio chatter, it's an anomaly. Like, that's a big deal. I catch maybe 1 every quarter. However, I want the radio chatter to come through. I want the voices of the DJs, the song lyrics, and the commercials to come through. If we can make it out, it's a 50-50 shot. I can tie it to the location of where we are, a person I'm talking about in the history of the story, or something even going on with one of us. It happens all the time. So the cool thing about this one is that it does record the entire session for us, even on mute. So when I say let's go ahead and turn it down, it's still recording. You're recording tomorrow morning, nice even level, no background noise. It will not know what we're saying. It only records the radio. Love this guy. So when I'm investigating a new spot, I can turn it on mute, put it in my pocket, I listen to it later. We work every night. We're busy. Alright, so I didn't see anybody's eyes light up on this one, except for KRISTIN, but I want to go with something a little different for you. So with you on that one, at the very top you're going to feel a little wheel, that's the volume. Don't hit the button, just turn it off. So you're going to turn the volume. And I'll always give you a cue for spirit boxes up. That's kind of like the cue. When I'm talking, I don't want to feel like I'm shouting over white noise. There? Oh yeah, can you feel where the wheel is? Yeah, you got it. I can hear it already. Perfect. This one works the exact same way, only it does not record. I normally, when I have my groups of 10, this is a shared item because I want the 2 people listening to it to kind of verify what's going on. That way they can, if they heard the same thing, now I have the proof. One person telling me something isn't always super great. They're just like, oh, did you come up with that? Did you Google it? You know, I never know. So, I think I'm going to go with you on this one. Sue. You have 1 button as well. It's a light touch. You want to hold it up to get the volume, and then you want to hold it down to turn the volume down. So that would be face up this way, so go ahead and feel for that little button and make sure you can get the volume.
Okay, show me where it is again.
Right here.
Real savvy.
It's okay. You want to hold, like push it up. Real heavy.
That's when you start hearing.
Yeah, the little... Yeah, you're pushing it in. You want to go up. There you go. You had it.
They're not very
Yeah, and then down, you got it.
Okay, so I want to keep it down?
Keep it down for right now. Again, when I'm talking to the whole group, you definitely want to turn them down so I'm not shouting. Let's see. This one is actually going to give us words in the center of the screen from time to time. They'll show up where those 3 dots are, and then it's going to save those words into a list. So, here's what I'm going to tell you about this. Last night we had 93 terms. That's actually quite a bit. I normally get about 65 to 70 in a 2-hour time span. That group had a lot going on. So with this, here's what I'm going to tell you about. Most of it is BS. It doesn't mean anything. So, come back to help you guys out? No, you're going to go down to the barn. Where is it? You're going to go down to the barn. It's on your left hand side.
All right, thanks.
80% of it doesn't mean anything. This app is actually designed to be a game and a hoax. It's the other 5 to 20% that I'm going to be able to explain why it's relevant to where we are, and then give you the backlink of where I got my information. So it's not because I said so, it's because Botanica.org said so. Okay, sounds good, everybody? So, Chris, this one's going to go to you. It is. All you have to do is wait for the words to pop up. At times, I'll say, Chris, where are we at with the word list? And I'll show you how to get to that at our first location. That's the first word is there. Again, 80% of it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I will come up to you and say, where are we at? Because there's, I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I kind of mixed up my groups a little bit. If you tap it by accident, just kind of keep an eye on it. It's okay. We're still at the beginning. This is fine. So point your camera at the wall for me, kind of give them the gist. So Ricky, you might be interested in this too. So it should bleed out, right?
Yep.
It should go to all one color. Keep it there. My hand's going to come into view. The wall's going to turn the opposite color. In this particular lot, we obviously have a lot of different styles of material. So we have metal, asphalt, foliage, wood, all kinds of things. Get used to how those temperatures fluctuate. How do the cameras move? You basically want to just try to keep one person, because we're going to spread out like this quite a bit tonight. Keep a person in view. I don't care if they're off in the distance, but keep an eye on that circle too, the square. So if it turns to a circle, just tap it again. And that way we can definitely get some more recordings. I don't care about splicing video together, so you guys have one. I just want to make sure we capture as much as we possibly can. At the next location, I'm going to show you the actual piece of evidence, so you kind of know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Here, I just want you to get used to the temperature.
Okay.
How do I turn this on?
Okay. You have the button that shoots the picture,
Right.
and then the one right next to it turns it on.
Okay, got
Bingo.
it. Okay.
You kind of have the gist of what's going on with yours?
Yeah.
Have you seen one of these before? Have you operated one already?
Never operated.
Okay. It's basically just going to be a viewfinder. I don't know what we're going to capture. Again, it's going to be 30 to 45 minutes worth of video. After the next story at the next stop, I'll say, Ricky, go ahead and get your video started. That's this button right here. What am I looking for in this video is the fact, go ahead and point it at me. So I should be in somewhat of a purple circle, and there should be some dark spots around me. I'm looking for things to come out of the dark spots that don't normally would reflect light. Does that make sense? Those are things we can't see with our own eyes. That's giving me the ability to look outside the circle and kind of see what's popping up around. That's what I realized. I think it was the second or third night that I used it. Something literally came by real quick like this and went away, made a little shuffling noise. I have no idea what happened. I was with the guy. I was chatting with the gentleman as that happened, and we never saw anything. So we had to catch it the next day.
So would you recommend like keeping them both?
That's on you.
For like more view, or it
Again,
depends on where you are?
It depends on where you are. That's why I said long distance, short distance. That's the easiest way to remember. Just remember, if you have the short distance on, if something gets closer, it's going to bleach out. So it's not really going to help us. So that's, you kind of toggle with it. When we get to the next stop, it is pretty dark over there. So again, you want to keep your long distance on for sure, just because it's pretty wide open. Hopefully there's not as many cars over there, but it's Friday. So we'll kind of see what happens. I'm going to start bouncing around with the other.
Let me ask you one. So like right here, see how it's,
That's the glass.
okay. Okay, I see that. And then, the temperature is lower there, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
So your blue and black are going to be your
Lower
colder spots.
Okay.
Again, black cold,
Right.
white and yellow hot.
Gotcha. Okay.
It cannot see through glass either. Just keep that in mind. That actually can't even see in 3D. You only see it in a visual sense like that because you can see it visually with your own eyes. It
okay.
will give you little white outlines to try to help you with the 3D portion of it.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I figured I got that.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Can I walk around? Oh, okay. It's like not stopping.
Got activity.
Yeah, like not stop.
He told us to length of view. Because if you have activity with the laser, just take a picture.
It's like not stopping at all.
Clover, like nothing.
He said it's been tricky. Oh, I see. The timer's going.
Yeah. 5 minutes in now. So you have a 3/4.
But it's like been nothing. And I've been going over. Now, but all of a sudden it's like 0 for 0. And I was like, should I put up the
Oh, yes,
thing
waiting
or-
over your device. Let's move over. So with your REM pod, obviously you're getting the gist of what this is doing. So until light, you'll actually see some weird stuff. We're going to turn off the temperature for right now.
Okay.
So what that's going to do, you've already seen this guy move kind of slowly, kind of him all around. It's going to move a lot quicker now.
Okay.
So you're going to have to kind of remember what those spikes were.
Yes.
REM pod, motion sensor. Pull up your antenna. Flip the device around on the back where the flap is open. You see 2 little white buttons. The one closest to the edge, click it all the way down until it's flush with the back of the device. That'll turn on your REM pod. Perfect. Now, if it starts doing all this wonky stuff because you're jostling it around a little bit, there's 4 buttons along this side. The very bottom one will reset it. So go ahead and click that one so you can kind of find it. It's easier to use with your thumb. So that way you can kind of find it. Very bottom one. Just hold it down. So what it just did, there's an EMF field around this guy, straight. When it's on the green, if something breaks it, it kind of kinks. When you hit the button, it straightens back up again. We want to, yep, exactly. But we don't always keep it on, especially when we're walking around pretty quickly. So we'll talk more about it. All right. Let's go on.
Wow. Oh, not because we're by the cars, though.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I always make a joke of welcome to another beautiful spot in Charleston. So,
Should I ignore most of the spikes since we're near cars?
it depends.
Okay.
Just depends.
Is it like 14 or 13?
Well, we are not near cars now.
Mine's going like
Okay, so this is probably one of my biggest hotspots. So sometimes I get nothing out of your 2 devices. Most nights I get what you're getting right now. There's nothing beneath us. They've never done an archaeological dig here, so there's no reason for those 2 devices to be going off other than something we don't understand. So, well, I'm going to give you the stories first. So let's turn off the REM pod portion. That would be the antenna down, little white button in the back. This is the only way in and out of this parking lot. People will fly in here trying to find a spot, as you guys probably did the same thing, trying to meet with me on time. So, but again, it's a parking lot, so we're going to explore it, but there's a lot of history here. The other tours don't come here, there's obviously nothing to see. So, what used to be here was the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. It actually sat in the front of this lot, and Eliza's garden was kind of just in front of us, going all the way across, and we're standing back here in the slave and servant quarters for the home. Now, who the heck were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. There's 3 Charleses right there. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. All of you are on vacation, and nobody wants to talk about South Carolina politics, and neither do I. So we're going to talk about Eliza. She's way cooler in. So Eliza, let me stop there. We're not going to be giving you questions for your spirit boxes, like what color is George Washington's white horse, where you guys know the answer. It's going to be, you're going to get the answer from your spirit boxes. So, Eliza married Charles at a young age. We would consider that a young age today, just so you guys have that idea. This is mid-colonial times. I'm not going to give you what the age is. I will tell you Charles was over doubled her age. Yes. So, she married him because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see all of his kids one last time, get them all home. She didn't want to go. So instead, she got married out of love, not out of arrangement or just to defy her father, but because she wanted to marry him anyway. So she put put her foot down and she stayed put. She didn't think he was dying right away. And she was right. He didn't die right away. So he starts sending over gifts apologetically. One of those gifts happens to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes people die. At least we have one pair of pants tonight. So that's what indigo is used for today. She started experimenting with it right where we're standing. This is a huge ordeal for Charleston because it pretty much saved all the colonies. Rice plantations were going downhill in the South. So she swooped right in, created a cash crop, but she had to learn about how to keep it cultivated. She learned from her Gullah slaves how to keep it going in our cold temperatures. Then she moved it over to a plantation. Made it profitable by calling Dad saying, give me some contacts overseas. I need to be able to sell this stuff. Ways you can think of indigo, think of the color royal blue. That's where it came from, the color of indigo. And second, if you think of the Civil War, the Northerners wore blue coats. That's where it came from. The Southerners, they wore gray coats, less indigo and wormwood. That's how the gray coat was formed. So indigo was pretty prominent long even after her death. We're still using it. I'm just giving you the scrape of the iceberg of what she's actually done for the colonies. However, there's a lot of weird facts about Eliza that people like to have fun with and ask about for your spirit box sake. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So they both go by their maiden name, Eliza blank Pinckney. It's not their middle name, their maiden name. They both start with the letter L. So now we have 3 Charleses and 2 Elizas we're dealing with. You see why I always look for the second clue? It's a pretty big deal to me. You can ask what either maiden name is, obviously. You can ask about the ages on the marriage, the mansion. It's obviously not here anymore. Ask what happened. When did that happen? It's obviously a tragedy, so keep that in mind. So I'll give you that much. Hopefully you get the year. You're blowing up like a Christmas tree. I've been watching it this whole time. Ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. She's pretty open about it. How old were you, Eliza, when you died? Where are you buried? Where did you die from? What U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? Basically, what president took you to your grave? That's a pretty big ordeal. Let's go back to that one first. The children. Let me kind of just give a warning here. There's a tragedy among the kids. If you poke too hard at the kids with questions, hey Eliza, what happened to your whatever son or daughter? All activity will stop, including all the craziness we're doing on Medical device right now. It will go dead. I've seen it thousands of times. So, things you can't ask about the kids. It's names, how many boys, how many girls, how many kids you poke. Leave it alone. Just don't poke the bear. Let everybody have some fun. Okay? Even me saying it out loud is kind of like, alright, I'm putting it out there, but at the same time, you guys aren't poking. So, we are going to spend a good 10 minutes here based on the amount of activity. I'm going to check you guys all in on the websites that you guys bought your tickets from to give you guys a head start, and then I'm going to start bouncing around like what I did over there. You definitely want to go ahead and get your recording started on your end. Is yours still going, Michael?
It is, yes.
Alright, good. So we definitely want to keep that going. This is a spirit box, is loud and proud. We're not bothering anybody here. Noisy spirit boxes, you kind of want to stay away from each other so that way you're not overhearing one another's devices. It's hard enough to listen to one of them. You two actually have the hardest job out of everybody. So, I'm going to point out that we already had the name Andrew show up on Chris's word list. Andrew has shown up here between this lot and over at Big John's pretty much every night I've been touring for the past 2 weeks. The first night it showed up, it was in this lot and it said Andrew, another word showed up, then Jackson. What I found out today was that Andrew Jackson, his mother is buried here, not in this lot, but she's buried in Charleston. Not to mention, his vice president, John Calhoun, lived here. That's what I was tying into before, but now I'm getting the fact that his mom was here. I'm going to see if mother shows up tonight along with Andrew, just to kind of see. And there's a memorial to her in Washington Square. I don't think her burial grounds are actually well known. So I was diving into that today just to find out, and I couldn't find it. All I found was a memorial.
Campus, they found a burial spot. They put a marker.
There's 2, actually.
Yeah, where they, out of respect,
Right.
where they thought that.
There's 2 of them. You're absolutely right. So the one that's more accessible is going to be the one in Washington Square. So, but again, have some fun in here. Give me a few minutes to check all of you in. You're going to basically be following the 2 EMFs to see where the spikes are going to be. See if you take notes from time to time based on the devices that don't record anything, so that way your analysis is. She's already like spiked out. Like I've already got that in my head, and she's totally spiked out here. So you said 35 is our highest at this
Yes.
point? Alright guys, let's spread out. Keep the lasers off the cars.
Did yours just spike to 35? What?
Yeah. Like,
So this shut off right when that happened, and then I had to restart it. Huh?
did you restart it?
Yeah, I did. But right when you said that, but it shut off like on its own. I didn't do it.
Hit your calendar for me. Let's see what other words popped up while I was trying to hit the calendar itself. There you go. Which board?
Yeah, that's there. So what do you do to find out?
I need another clue. I need somebody to tell me which kid I'm talking about, and if I get the name of the war, even better. If I get the person who was in that war and another clue about them, of what may have happened to them during that, the year that it occurred, I need that extra clue. Right now, war is vaguely relevant. I need something else.
And so I'll just be touching this, right?
Yep, that's it.
I'm not exporting or clearing or anything.
That's my job at the bottom. So I export to my email so I can give you guys the list and then I clear it out when I get it started.
I feel like you were standing like right
Yeah, it's been at 0-0. Maybe they like to be talked about. You know, like it was high when he was talking about the people. It's not right now.
Like I heard something. The voice on
God.
those doesn't
It's like
matter
right by
unless
you.
it's disembodied. So disembodied is not radio travel. So if you hear something that goes over like 10 radio
You're like back up and take a picture like from a
just the
like not straight down, like straight
go
up.
long and it's not radio chatter, I have enough software to take out the radio stuff so I can hear what the actual voice says. And then it's so kind of this, I mean, I would sad. Like, this all might take a while.
So there's a cold trail following you.
So a lot of times when I'm questioning if it's me or not, I'll find a curve or somewhere off to the side and I'll set it down. You can use this as a calling answer as well. If somebody's here, make this go to blue. All you gotta do is get close to the black box with no stick. Data.
Make sure you get what?
Make sure you get other people.
I've been getting. I'm trying to spread it out.
Coming up higher again, but not making any like beats, but going up.
So keep in mind, your reading on the red screen and what's going on with your lights are two independent things.
That's right.
So it's not going to pick up. Like if there was an EMF field around you, unless it's right here within this EMF field, it's not going to do anything. I do want to show you some evidence that we were talking about. So this actually took place up in that top right corner, and that's with the camera that you're using. That's obviously the wall. Let me back it up a second so you get the point of reference. So there's going to be two people walking by. They're living. They're orange. So just a point of reference. We're going to find the dead people. There's going to be two black heads going this way past the wall, and there will always be somebody in view on the right-hand side.
I just saw that up there.
Yep.
Just say that again.
Yep. No problem. Back it up. So I've analyzed this video with firemen. It's not a vehicle.
That's weird.
It's literally two heads because you can see them
So
separate a
that's
little
up
bit.
there.
It's actually in that top right-hand corner. You see where that lamp post is?
Uh-huh.
That's the post up where they went in between. So they actually
Okay.
walked past it.
Okay.
So that's when I say
Like
when you're
if I'm
looking for
looking at, we can see it here.
you have to be closer, but
Right, but that's where.
that's the corner right up there.
And so, okay, so these are just the blues, just obviously colder.
Just colder than whatever the ground is, because that's your warmest spot right now.
And I'm looking for something dark, like black or dark, that crosses
Over top.
over top of an object or
Exactly.
person. Right. Okay.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
And again,
Okay.
you might not catch anything real time. That's why I'm hoping that the video is going to keep hold.
Right.
Again, I was on the phone with Clear the other morning, fuming, because I lost 2 whole videos. And a lot of people come on this tour just for that camera, because they've never seen one. And that's
So, and then so these are windows. that are
windows on the
black.
vehicles. Yep.
Okay. But the difference between that and the black that I'm looking for is,
They're going to be
something-
moving.
moving and superimposed on somebody that we're here with. Like if
I
somebody's
haven't-
getting a reading, then the idea is that they should have something cold around their person.
Generally.
Okay.
I have had pieces where, and I haven't clipped it out yet, just been swamped. But on me, there was pretty much my whole shoulder was missing. It's covered in blue.
Uh-huh.
I'm out in the hot temperatures. All of a sudden, it groups together, turns black, and then goes away.
Ah,
Intelligent
okay.
movement.
Yeah, okay.
But something was obviously hanging on my shoulder.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So
Because, for example, she's wearing a bag on her shoulder, and so
Back
that's
way
going to be
colder.
blue.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
way colder than her skin temperature.
So it
even
means-
the clothes that are touching her. So even if you
Right.
go ahead and point it at me, like the center of my chest, because I got man boobs, it's going to be a little colder right here.
Right,
So the rest of it is touching my skin, so it's going to be warmer picking up my skin temp.
right. And, and your shoulder straps on the backpack are blue,
Right.
lighter. Okay.
I know, it's hard to watch.
No, but yeah, that makes sense. I think I've got that figured out then. Okay.
But the science behind it, like when we actually capture something, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool stuff. Let's see, who have I not followed up with? Hearing anything on yours?
Not that I'm aware of.
Have you heard anything?
Oh, yeah.
What have you heard? 'Cause you
Oh,
don't-
no, not that I'm aware that it's connected with anything.
But you might not know the rest of the story. I might be going back on her.
Oh, I haven't.
Okay.
connected.
Try to keep tally of what you hear, because if we have Andrew, and I never mentioned an Andrew, there might be something else going on.
Okay. Is Andrew here? Which president is at your funeral?
Is Mildred the name of your kid?
What president carried you to your funeral? Who is it? A 4
Are we doing on the one list?
6?
Diction?
Was it in there for a while? Okay, because I know it's still there.
What's that?
So you're covered in blue. Yeah. Y'all are all getting covered in it.
Everybody?
Yeah. So y'all look all covered in blue right now. Like all y'all.
Like right here in the center. Here it is. Because yours is way more accurate. Just so you have an idea. Yours, I've seen spike at 150. Like 149. Yours only goes to 25. So,
Okay, so all y'all are covered in blue, like right now.
All of us are what?
Are covered in blue. All of y'all are.
stay put. Don't move.
Could that be because there's a breeze or no?
Well, no, you're like, your outlines have been visible the whole time, and now there's just like, I can see a little
Hers
bit.
is obviously the blue portion there.
Right, but like her hair,
Her hair's going to be fuller than her skin. So it's going to show up
yeah,
in a lighter blue.
but that's been different than I've seen.
Again, if it starts swirling around, something moves on here to create some kind of shape or silhouette. Like you're onto something. There could be something there.
Yeah,
But at the same token, a lot of that, the ground is going to be cooler than her skin temp. So that's why.
yeah, okay. It just looked different. Like before that, I could see all of them in bright orange, and then it just all went to blue. But okay.
But with that said, you're recognizing
those
what the
poles right
changes
here,
are,
you want
which is
to
good.
take
And if I review it tomorrow on the TV, and I could see a silhouette
Yeah.
or something.
Okay.
then-
Cool.
There you go. Nice and big. There you go. Great question. Stay away from those.
What did you grow in your garden?
Heard anything, Mom?
Eggplant.
I think it's so funny that he was like, you don't know these camera.
It went up to 11.
Went up to 26 and 11.
dress really weird.
All right. How are we doing on our spirit box? You guys have
I asked, do you have neighbors? Do you have any siblings? And I did hear one afterwards, but I know that would be very uncommon and rare at that time.
hustle. Just, it's weird. So the number 1 shows up a lot here, but it's a clue to something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So 1, and I'll give you first, shows up a lot here as well.
So she was the first.
Can't really throw it at you any further. Should have picked it up by now. Alright, so yeah, you have a hard job out of it. So you need to kind of partner up with somebody to help you with
We're trying to do that.
So there's no harm in exchanging devices either among your party. So if somebody's having a hard time with something, by all means, switch it up. You know, just keep it within your own party. I know a lot of smaller groups can do it, but again,
It doesn't have to be
actually
expected.
we're going to give a few more minutes. I'm not going to leave you hanging there to answer this either.
Okay, great.
I feel tired all that.
Okay, good.
You're still getting craziness?
Mine has had big spikes back in the 20s. And I just had to make a sound the first time.
Got a little bit of motion going on.
Right here. Right here.
Have a hard time with another word.
Are the colors like hers that goes, and they have, or does this one go to a blue?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I make it small. I don't want to have blue, I want positive. I make it small. So again, when I do my investigation, I get white.
Yes.
White house. So again, I will light it up. That's all I am.
No, sorry. It good, but it's just, you know, it's just for affect. It's your good storyteller.
Oh, far back. No.
Alright, let's get everybody grouped up. We'll move out of this vehicle today. Have we heard anything else?
And nothing I can decide for this. I don't know that I'm asking the right kind of questions. Well, I mean, meaning like, do you want one word answers or going to be like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, if we can get a conversation out of it, great.
Yeah.
We're going to have to piece it together. For example, I'm going to talk about a cross-dressing pirate later on, and she had a friend that used to dress like a guy too, and I got a phrase that said, they think we're guys, on one of the spirit boxes. Completely relevant to the story. Completely relevant. So let's get you guys some answers. Again, it seems like we're struggling a little bit. It's okay. That's why we record. So when you guys get your audio, I will give you 15 to 20 markers just so you guys can hear what I'm hearing, whether it's relevant or not.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I would have fixed my
I'm a
shirt.
bad dad with those. You gotta be careful. So at any rate, curiosity first. Everybody seems to be asking about. Let me ask about the kids. I was trying to listen in on your
No, I
questions.
asked how many, and did any of them stay with her after that?
Okay, so we'll start with the kids. So there was 4 children, 3 boys, 1 girl. I already gave you the one, Charles. Then we had Thomas Pinckney. Then we had baby George, who didn't make it. We don't know if George was actually days or weeks old. There's also no grave for this poor child. So the death certificate just has the same month and year as the birth and death. So I don't know how old the child was. Keep in mind that baby George was named after Eliza's father. So we're going to talk about him in a second. One daughter, Harriet. So I always look for things wrapped around Harriet, whether it be her name or anything dealing with letter writing back and forth. She married in Horry. That's the Myrtle Beach area. That's in Horry County. There was no car ride to go and visit with her daughter. Lots of letters. Right off again. The daughter's name was 10 letter name, something dealing with that. As far as the father goes, George was named after Eliza's father. Eliza's maiden name was Lucas. So what does that make her father? George Lucas. So, again, to make sure people the other Eliza, her maiden name was Lamb. So Lamb and Lucas were exchanged a little bit there. Eliza Lucas was 22 when she was young in hours. Most people think, oh, 29, she must be 12. No, she's not 12 when she got married. Eliza's death, Eliza's death. She was 70 years old when she died in 1793. In Philadelphia.
I brought up Philadelphia.
Also where she's buried. In Philadelphia. This is the reason why we don't go to cemeteries on the stories in the cemeteries work. You're not going to hang out where you're buried after you're done. I promise you. You're not going to do that. Like your mansion on the stage. So that's why we're here. Now, she died of revolution. This was 1783. No such thing as cancer. We're going based off of the medical records. So 9 out of 10 credible websites will actually tell you that it was breast cancer. So, very interesting. Last night, we actually had the term cancer come up as we were leaving. That was on the word list. So it was kind of interesting. Any guesses on the president now that you know what year it was? No, it's not yet.
Oh, sorry.
1796.
Your question then. Seriously.
Wow.
So, is that something that the tour guide industry told me? No, it's something I learned actually out of the tour. We got the EVP with Washington twice in 1 week, and I was like, there's got to be a link to the Pinckneys here. I knew he spent time here, but didn't realize because he only had so many governors, and there were Pinckney governors, that he knew his governors pretty well, because let's face it, there's only 13. So, again, lots comes up around George Washington. His name, for one, so that's 3 Georges. Do you see where they all came from? Father, son, and then obviously the president. So, but I also get the term wood. It shows up a lot here too. People ask about that because of his wood teeth. So that shows up a lot too. I have actually even had Martha come up. So very interesting stuff. I don't know if he slept here. There actually is a whole book on his. I think it was like 12 days that he spent here specifically. But I will tell you related to fire. So that's fire, hot, warm, temperature, anything relating to fire when you ask about it. But 1861, we have dozens of fires here in Charleston. Every tour guide's going to tell you about the Great Fire of whatever year it happened in. This one was huge. It went from peninsula coast to peninsula coast. So again, the building was just in the way. The only photos we have of this place are after the fire. So again, if I find things in the links, you'll obviously get to see pictures of what this place used to look like. So again, now you can see why other tourists don't come here. There's nothing to see, and we're getting all kinds of crazy activity. So when she's getting motion, she had a spike at 35.
There are pictures of what the mansion of the
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like half a couple.
So if she were here, her ghost was here, would she be in the mansion or she knows it's park?
I'm sure she would know it's park. But I don't have that direct answer. I'm not on the other side. Again, this is why I do this. So I need to, like, my curiosity wants to know, what are they going through? We have some blue spots I have to look into on the thermal imaging that was surrounding 4 or 5 people. I have to dive in when I can see the picture a lot bigger and see if it was actually anything hustling and bustling around us, or if it was the parking lot, the way it was just kicking back against our skin temperature. So again, the science behind this is, where is the science linked up at?
Is there any theory behind whether or not, like, they can see us or only hear us, or are they aware of our presence? I mean, I'm thinking they answer questions they hesitate.
I would say within the first 3 months that I was coming here on a nightly basis, my name would show up along with a hello somewhere along the lines. Whether my name would show up here, but then we hear hello on a spirit box or something along those lines. But it's a definite recognition. One of the reasons why I like to come here, it's intelligent. It's not residual. The two differences are, obviously intelligent recognizes things going on. They can respond. It's a call and answer. With the residual, they're almost like stuck in a rut. They're doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. That's the theories that are behind it. So this one, I would definitely call an intelligent, because I get the kids that show up. Thomas likes to talk about the ward he was in, his leg getting shattered. I've had people walk around with their legs hurting in this spot. Happened just last week. Then I get the name Thomas comes up. Then I get the word war. Then I get a name that's very close to the name of that war. I'm guessing the word Camden was not in the word list. We got the word Caden. It was Camden without the M. Very close. So again, I called it a vaguely relevant, but I still had all of the other clues wrapped around Thomas Pinckney. Somebody's leg hurting, war, his name, Caden. I can't make it up. If I can tie them all together, that's when I get excited. What other questions do you have before we move on?
So the tragedy was with the baby George. So like if you talk about the other kids, she's like usually rather than just talk about George.
Yeah, but I don't want to stop the We could stop the video right now, so you know. So from here, here's what's going to happen. We're going to walk up East Bay Street to our next haunted location, which is called Lodge Alley. A couple of things. Lasers are out of the game for a little while.
That's okay.
So, you can listen along the way for your spirit boxes. Listen for names. I'm not going to ask you tell you what gender. Just listen for names. I'll see if they're relevant when we get there. I'm not going to tell you why or which names till we get there. Once we reach Lodge Alley, spirit boxes low in volume. It is a quiet area. We're going to be next to a hotel. Definitely no lasers inside the restaurant. We're going to be next to either. EMF meters. They're going to go crazy because of the parking meters. You can pretty much ignore them. This is where you probably want to stop your video and restart it again to make sure we're
He falls asleep watching Ghost Hunters, and he falls asleep on turning on Friends.
I can hold it while you take it to
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, that was really the only spot that I got. I did get a few words from someone. Nothing major that was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Did you do the orphanage there too?
That's really,
You should. It's like, that was even crazier.
that is really dark.
You should also, if you ever out there, do Eastern State with the penitentiary.
I just did the Western State,
Oh yeah.
which is now the National Aviary.
Oh.
So I like to go to the places that aren't really deemed haunted. We'll kind
Yeah.
of talk more about that when we get to the power practice. So our battery pretty much drained on his camera already. That normally will die in about another 30 to 40 minutes from now. Yeah, about 30 minutes. Yeah. Until I clean them before I leave the house.
Oh, it was definitely full.
Yeah. So something definitely filled with battery. So let's kind of give you the gist of what's going on here. Let's go ahead and turn your REM pod. We'll leave it on. This is a quiet area. That's not really why I asked. So did you get any news on your spirit box?
Marion?
Possible.
My great grandma.
Revolutionary
We tried to get a room there. He wanted to stay there because it's haunted.
Well, every hotel has a haunted room.
Yeah.
None of them give me a free room to verify, so next summer we're going to be doing a round every week at a new hotel for the podcast, so to make sure we have more episodes coming. So we're going to verify if these places claims are true. But anyway, let me tell you where you're at. So that last crosswalk we came over, that thing's going a little bonkers. The last crosswalk we came over, we actually were coming over the Charlestown Wall. So we are originally, right now, in the original Charlestown city. There's a walled city. So if you didn't already know that, there were walls around us. This was one of the first streets we ever had. The reason why I asked for names is because I have a full list of residents of all the people that used to live on this street. Back then it was a street, not an alley. I'm standing on somebody's stoop. These were little tiny shotgun houses, not many houses here. They were lower class folks. So kind of keep that in mind. You guys are all on vacation, you need to see some cobblestone. We're going to talk more about the Charlestown Wall as we get closer to Cumberland Street, which is where your garage is at. But that's where the wall originally was, and that way you kind of have a better layout of the land. I do get some weird things going on with the thermal imaging camera here from time to time, so we'll see if anything pops up. This was also the reason why it's called Lodge Alley. This is where the Freemasons had their Masonic Lodge. This is Lodge Alley Inn, this is Lodge Alley. So again, it's all about the Freemasons here as well. You do get things like clay stones, bricks, mason, things like that pop up here all the time. It's not just that one register box. All of the, evidence I'm telling you about is from multiple things. If we do get any kind of EMF readings out of this alley, it's usually from the restaurant. So it usually comes from Magnolia's, so we can usually debunk that pretty quickly. What happens from here, again, this was just a brief stop. This is the very cusp of where tour guides are allowed to go. So we're going to be cutting through the neighborhood to get to our next stop. I'll kind of go over some of the legends and more. You guys can actually have a seat. I'll change out his battery and kind of get us moving along. The legends and more, if you get evidence out of it, wonderful. Do I have evidence from every story on that corner? Only the ones that are real. So those are the ones that I tell, and I will use Chris's list to kind of guide me. Sometimes I might have to go off a little bit, off tangent of which story do I need to tell based on what's coming through.
At midday. And then it turns into day. Yeah. M-E-A-T.
I'm wondering if there was a butcher.
Oh, maybe.
So the list of residents actually has their occupations next to it. It's not a census list. It is a literal list of people's names, their address, and what they did for a living. You can imagine there were a lot of seamstresses that lived out here. So put all those clues together. But I would definitely be looking for a butcher and listening for names of that butcher. So hopefully I can link the two clues together. That would be really cool. I don't think I've ever had that come up. That's actually kind of neat. So we'll see what pops up. As we cut through the neighborhood, it's definitely in the laser zone. Sorry, you're still out of the game.
No, it's alright.
If you want to take pictures like up here towards the right of St. Philip's, you get the two old buildings on the side and take some great pictures. Nice and still. If you want to, you can lead the way with me. But yeah, let's take a hike.
Should I keep this one off then too?
Yeah, just until we get out of the neighborhood.
Yes.
And we're going to be passing parking meters anyway, so.
It's amazing that like not everybody had a broken ankle back then.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, she was like, oh, it's just sexy back here. And I was like, yeah, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I grew up out. So I've been talking to my roommates, and I've been saying stuff like, that's just like Philly slang, like all the time. And I'm like, what? Like, I was doing like John and like Bull, and like all of a sudden they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I forget that national. It's like a 7-Eleven. Like if you know what it's kind of like a sheet.
I see. Oh, kitty cat. Kitty cat.
What, a lantern?
They're like, oh, great.
Have a seat. We're gonna spend a good 5-7 minutes here. If you guys came here to work, I'm giving you a break. Should I give you a battery? Do you think you can figure out how to put it in? I don't think you realize. It's actually in the can. No, I can do it. Yes. Like $500 in my hand. I'm not breaking this. Yeah, the whole getup. My wife, again, graphic design. She's the one who pieced it all together. You hold that. So, everybody likes to sweat in this now. I am. No, they have their own zipper batteries. That little blue thing on the back of the little one, that's what's powering the front one. And then there's a 9-volt. This one actually. I carry 3 of them, just like this. And I bought the high capacity ones so that the ones that came with it wouldn't die. So, just to show you how crazy it is. Yeah, it died already. I mean, how long has it died? I go across the street. So, did everybody notice the beautiful alley behind you? The brick alley? Did you guys see that? That's the story we're going to tell, unless Chris gives me some different words. What do you got there? Nope. Anything else? Broad Street.
Like if you discover like a new string of words, like know what really, I guess. Like if you hear a random word, you have
like to know our society. Again, my brain is always working on the history of what those matches are. Where I might not read anything. I don't know. I have to dive in.
Where did the Piggins live after the fire?
The house was actually, they had a lot of properties already down here. Plus they had
That's
Steve.
one of the questions I asked.
Yes, so Steve Farm and Mount Pleasant. At the time, I still think it was called Mount Pleasant during that time. On the maps to see what it said. But they had a lot of properties down here already. So I'm not even sure that they were actually living there. They just owned it. So at that point in time, because the kids were already grown, remarried, off the board, moving to Pittsburgh, all kinds of things. So they were all over the place.
We could take a break. We don't
So,
have to film it.
let's go back to the alley since we don't have any other words. Like garage was, that's the first thing that popped up. Brown lad, by the way. Brown lad. Brown shows up a lot here. But Joseph also. He moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and the attorney handling that money told her to send the doctor away who thought he was just after her money. So, the doctor moves to Charleston to prove he's not just after her money. As he's coming into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. He's dressed pretty well. He looks like he's got some cash. Let's kill this guy. Take his money. Somebody walking by sees what's going on. His name is Ralph Isaacs. Keep in mind, Ralph has the same initials of where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. R.I. comes up here a lot, especially on your list. So I don't know why. Just got to figure out the clue of who it belongs to. But anyway, he sees what's going on. He takes him to 59 Church Street. So 59 shows up here. We're on Church Street. It's up the Roosevelt. So he has somewhere to stay. So now they're friends. The doctor's practice starts to take off. Fast forward a little bit. He becomes known as the whistling doctor. Why? He's making lots of money. And is moving down the slot. He's doing pretty well. Because they were such good friends and the doctor made way more money than Ralph, they went to go see plays together, but the doctor has better seats. So they can't sit next to each other when they go see these plays. They talk about them on the way home. So they talk about William III. It is very noisy on this one. And we're going to be going across the street really quickly because of that noise. But anyway, they go see William III. They talk about this play on the way home. The doctor loves the new actress. Ralph does not. Feeling okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just kind of had that look like... Okay, fair enough. I'll take it. I know. History's boring. So...
No, it's fine. I literally just got back from the beach.
Oh, jeez. Alright, I'll get you up off that seat, no problem. They started arguing about the new actress. The doctor loves the new actress in town. Ralph does not. Then he starts insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. Not very cool. Obviously, they get even more angry at each other. They go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper saying what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here. He charges too much. You get the gist. The doctor sees it. He runs with it. Let's show the goons out. They come down. They take the 20 paces. They turn. The doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend, and he's willing to forgive. However, Ralph still has his one shot. Sorry, Rick. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor, so he didn't die and come through the death gate. Instead, his friends pick him up and they carry him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. Now, I used to take people through that alley. It's residential at the end. Remember I told you where the customer is? I had to learn real quick where I'm not allowed to go, because I got caught taking my groups down there. When you walk down there on your own, it is the most picturesque place we have in all of Charleston. Some of you just got here, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Turn on your voice recorders on your phone. They say you can hear the whistles from the doctor. I do have a couple that I cannot debunk. Keep in mind, locals know the story. They're going to walk by and whistle down the alley. Yeah, we get that a lot. So again, what you're listening for is something very faint. So it's going to be in the background. So just turn it on. It is gorgeous down there. There's a million tourists here. This is a very popular spot. There's probably like 15 stories here. I would say about 10 or 12 of them are actually true. That's why I look for the words and what we kind of got here. For now, right now, you're getting the standard of what I normally give.
Oh, yeah.
No, I did have the word audience here last night. So there would have been an audience of people here and a witness. Yep.
Yeah.
But vaguely related. I need something a little like Proctor, Amanda, money, something. Yeah, something along those lines. Let's get your mind on pirates. So, this is a very noisy corner. Do you guys see the burning gas lamp off in the distance?
Yeah.
That's the pirate house. Somebody lives there. Don't go in his backyard. He gets pissed. Don't ask me how I know. Yes, I moved around a lot. Obviously, I got kicked out of Philadelphia Alley. But at any rate, it's got a big anchor on the front. So when you guys are walking around town, you can't miss it. It's really interesting what the history of that building is. That's where Blackbeard's men would come off their ships, and they would have a place to slay, meet with a few ladies. They actually dug a tunnel from that house underground over to Dock Street Theater, which is another block away going south. They did that because at the time it was called Planters Hotel. It was a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel. They would obviously go there for the whorehouse to get them the times. The second thing that they would go there for is the playhouse, because they would be working backstage because pirates tie really good knots. They would work for a few bucks in between bartering with all the locals. So Blackbeard never set foot on our soil. Don't let anybody ever tell you any different. And word had it that some of his treasure was buried in that tunnel. It is not. We all know that it's in North Carolina. So with one of those treasure hunting things, that's the way it goes. But Blackbeard his name will show up here from time to time, which is Edward Teach. So we see the name Teach from time to time, or hear Edward, something along those lines. Just because he did have a presence here, just nothing predominant as much as what I'm about to tell you across the street.
But he never was physically in Charleston.
He used to stay on the ships to watch them while these men came in and had a good time. So if he did set foot on soil, it's because he was alone. Alright. Wow, they're taking up a lot of space. Let's get everybody up and moving again. We're going to go across the street for our last big investigation, like what we did at the Pinkies. Hopefully we capture more than what we did there.
I know, but I've leaving
You have a too long.
However, the church has rules.
I was hoping it was going to be by the steeple for you guys.
I know. Oh, it is.
Is it over
It's
there?
behind it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody can grab their picture. This is where I get to take a little break and come back. This is our last stop. It's not heavy, it's just sweaty. So it's where I make my stop. Who am I missing? That guy just gave a misnomer. He said a wrong number. It's like, how'd it gone by? I think what's so fun about what I do is I'm not like licensed by the city to do this. Everything that I know is based on stuff that I've read on my own, including their book. Like, I read their book through and through, all 500 pages. So I mean, I can go through the city and point out stuff all night long, but it's a matter of where are the good stories and where do I actually get activity. So,
Yeah.
still like missing something. Who am I missing? Okay. I know I'm missing something.
I think she's in the other room.
She is. She went to the other group.
I can see her, she's in the very back.
What the heck?
Oh, that's funny.
Laurie!
I bet she's watching the wrong guy. I must not be memorable.
Maybe she was hearing something. Good words. Michael. You're supposed to keep it
And I think it has heart.
In the very back, right?
flat.
Okay.
Okay.
We should know how to find her. We've known her for
I know, you learned that she was
Might be a part of it.
I don't think I've ever lost a guest like that before. At least not to another tour. Normally it's at the bar. Like,
Right.
Now you have a new story to add to it.
She's like, I kept hearing my name, but I didn't know where she was coming. I'm listening. I'm thinking, wow.
do you have a flask that you're not sharing?
I think he's getting older. Oh my very eyes.
That's so funny.
I did hear my name.
She's hearing her name. She's got, you know, that's good. Welcome back. We waited. All right, so let's get into this because there's a lot going on here. So I told you guys about the Charlestown Wall. So when we were back at Lodge Alley, this is Cumberland Street. So this is where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. We're going to be looking into this powder magazine, the building with the crosses on it. I'm going to stick with the wall for a minute just so you kind of have the layout of the land. It went up Cumberland, past the powder magazine, started going south towards the battery. Okay? It's literally tucked into the corners of the Charlestown Wall. The The reason for that is if it gets struck by cannon from 3 blocks away, it's going to have a hard time getting through 32-inch thick walls with gunpowder inside. Let's say that it goes all the way through and it blows up the gunpowder. Sand in the roof is going to blow up in the air. It is still there because sand does not disintegrate. It's from 1712. It's supposed to go up in the air with the explosion and fall to put out the fire. That doesn't work. How do we know that? Because we had another powder magazine closer to the battery. It got struck. Sand went up. Couldn't put out the fire. Burned to the ground. It's gone. It's the only one that we have left. It has served in 7 different wars, with the Civil War being its last serving. So, very interesting building, not to mention those crosses I just mentioned. They're not crosses, they're the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in, because this is the oldest government building on the East Coast. I told you about the big earthquake scare in 1886. That was a 7 point something on the Richter. Richter wasn't invented yet, so we're going based off of the damage. Now, those earthquake bolts, what they're supposed to do is run a turnbuckle. It's supposed to be able to turn the bolts, and it will straighten the building back up again if it got quaked from the earthquake. That doesn't work either. I see a lot of Californians. So I asked them, like, does that actually work? And they're like, no, the technology is way different now. So they have like this little shimmy thing underneath the building now. It's actually really cool the way he explained it. So, but a very interesting building. It is a museum now. You can visit it if it gets too hot for you here. It's pretty cheap to get in. You can see all the artillery from all the different wars, not to mention the uniforms that it served. So it's pretty cool stuff. Not a big museum, like $5 to get. I'm not an affiliate with them. It's just a cool place to be. So during the time that this was being built, 1703 to 1713, it's a whole decade. Our story starts in the middle of that. That's why we're here. It's familiar. So follow me, there's a lot of twists. And we have an adult group here, so I can let it all hang out tonight. So, a young lady moves here. Her name is Anne Cormack. She moves here from Ireland with her dad and his mistress, who happens to be her mother. The 3 of them are running away from his wife. You guys with me? Good. I hear chuckles. Good. So, the 3 of them halfway across the world. How scorned was this woman, by the way? So, they get here. The building is familiar. Anne's a young lady. We're going to fast forward to 1713 when it's finished. She's now doing business for Dad from Georgetown, his plantation over there, coming down here to sell the wares and whatever came off the crops. 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne is now a teenager. This is pretty exciting. Just to give you the mentality of Anne, rumor had it that she killed one of her servants when she was a child with a knife to the belly. Like, she's pretty hardcore stuff. So, pirates coming through town, she's pretty excited. She falls in love pretty quickly. This guy's name is James Bonney. Now, Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. What Dad's going to approve of that? I'm not. So, they run away to Jamaica. They get married. Anne Cormack now becomes Anne Bonney, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. This guy's a coward in her eyes. Once they get down there, she realizes he's a privateer. He's working for the British. He's a spy. This is not who she wanted. This is not Captain Jack Sparrow, right? This is not that dude. So, she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. We're going to refer to him as Jack through the rest of the story. Jack is pretty cool. Young dapper guy, wears the coats of the men he kills, so he's on board. Plus he has his own boat. Like, she wants to be part of the ship. She wants to be a pirate. Females curse pirate ships. You can't have a girl on a pirate ship. But he makes a deal. Dress like a guy to be part of the crew. So I gave you that cross warning about the cross-dressing earlier. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her back home in Ireland at his attorney office to keep her away from his wife. She was just a boy apprentice then. So she's like, whatever, I'll dress however you want me to. She's allowed to be a female in his quarters though, because of course, he's the captain, whatever. So she's like, all right, I'm on board. Being a female in his quarters, she eventually gets pregnant. Of course she does. He drops her off in Cuba. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the ship. So again, no, she doesn't want anybody to know that there's a female on board. Drops her from Cuba with some friends, go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out when you get back. So she has the baby, returns with no baby. No idea what happened to that child. She's also dressed like a girl. She's mad. Once she gets back to the ship, this makes Jack mad. Now all the guys know that there's a female on the crew. So, to make him even more jealous, he just captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's gonna go flirt with them, see what happens. This is guy number 3, by the way. As she's flirting with some young man, he reveals his gender to be a female, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have another female doing the exact same thing that Mary did, get part of Jack's crew. The 2 become friends. That young lady's name was Mary Reed. You guys are grinning like you guys know this story in and out.
No,
so,
it's just...
It's
Yeah.
fascinating, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mary Reed and Anne Bonney are now friends. They're on the crew. They're dressed like females. The British find out where they are. They send the entire British fleet after them. All the pirates are down below deck, the men pirates anyway, so the females are up above. They're the only 2 men fighting back. obviously this ship gets captured. As Calico Jack is being arrested, Ian Bonnie's last words were to him, "You should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog." See what keywords comes in here. It's pretty hardcore. So, the judge, his name is Nicholas Loss. When my name shows up here, it's not me, it's the judge. So, he's already tried and hung all the men. They're gone. He wants to see the two valiant men that fought back separately a week later, November 28th, 1720. The two females go in front of him. They reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates in his eyes. Their last words were, "We plead our bellies," which basically means they're both claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. Fine, we'll send you back to jail. We'll delay your hanging. Send them both back to jail. Dad is still here in Charleston. He bails her out with his Irish money. Brings her back home. She remarries again. Guy number 4.
So we don't know what happened to her baby when
No
she
idea.
was in Cuba.
Nope, no clue. That's why we're here. This is level 3 where you get to ask anything.
Okay.
Let me wrap this up. I'm almost done, I promise. I know, it's a long one. She remarries again, has 4 children, dies at the age of 84.
And left Mary in jail.
Left Mary in jail. What do you think happened to her? She is a pirate in a Jamaican jail, and she died from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. It was probably bumpy and oozy and gross, and use your imagination. That would have been 1721. Now, I do have a friend, Kat, that likes to come in here, not the one we saw earlier. This one's more like a blondish color. I've been calling him Jack, hopefully he's a boy, but he likes to sit on certain numbers that are relevant to this story. I don't know why, he's only been doing it for the past couple of weeks. I haven't seen him yet tonight, so we'll see if he pops up. We definitely want to get close to the building up there. Again, be mindful of vehicles. Those of you with cameras, all 3 types, you can go to the front, exit the lot, go to the front, as long as you're not interrupting other tours. Again, we're the noisy group. We're the annoying ones. So, in case you didn't know what you signed up for, we're the annoying people to them. So, we're going to be noisy. Poke your cameras inside the gates. See what happens for a few minutes. Give me some footage. Let's see what goes on. Definitely some lasers in here are good to go. So, again, just be mindful of vehicles. Get those spirit boxes turned up, loud and proud. Let's see what we can capture. Ask whatever. Oh, 2 things I did not give you. The name of Ian Bonnie's parents and the name of Calico Jack's ship. So those are the only 2 things that if you want to ask them, I know what those are based on fact. Everything else, let's fill in the gaps.
I think I'll keep
Let's see what we got going on with here.
Use that one. What's that?
You really haven't said much tonight.
I mean, I haven't picked up much yet.
So when's the last time you reset it? Looks like
17 minutes ago.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, you should be good for the rest of it. So last night I did that so many times with the person running this. They gave me too many videos and YouTube locked me out, so I couldn't upload them. So that way I can re-download them to splice them together.
Oh, okay.
So they never got their thermal imaging video. So that's why I was like, every 45 minutes or so should be good. So I don't know how many you gave me.
So it has. So a couple times it has cut off.
Okay.
And then I've restarted it. But I've probably got. I don't know. I mean, I guess you would probably tell, but.
I think YouTube only allows me to go to 10, so I only need 8 out of this.
Okay.
Because I need the other 2 for Ricky's video, and that way I can re-upload this one. So
Okay.
I can only do. Plus, I have to do theirs. So I'm hoping it's not even like from last night. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I've captured most of the time we've been here. I don't know how many actual video.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
sequences
how
it's
many.
been.
Your EMF is usually a dead zone here. The fact that you're getting any kind of motion
It
on here,
wasn't blue a little bit, like a few seconds ago.
like, that's a little nutty to me. Like
Hmm.
this is normally like nothing. This is not Pinckney Mansion.
Uh-huh.
So somebody's digging you. I'll say that much.
Interesting.
Yes, very. Let me know what the spike is that you see, because I'll need a number for here.
Yes. reading like the things, but not the numbers aren't spiking.
Are usually where I get the most activity. That's why I spend so much time in each one. Yeah, I know.
Pretty.
Hear the number 25?
Okay, hold still. Yeah.
Girls, keep the list going.
Because I can remember these.
Right.
Probably God knows how many years.
But he's going to be able to take
Do you feel bad about what you did? Right.
I assume she must, right?
Yeah.
So he'll find himself.
Just like I was telling Kristen, this is normally a dead zone.
Yeah.
So anything pops up out of it, I'm excited because it gives me something to work on. But when you get any kind of hook on that, that's how it's going.
Yeah.
But Kristen was getting emotion. She's getting it over there. Actually, I heard us. I haven't seen a ton of data.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any dead.
Yeah. This is not the picnic entrance. So the only reason why we come here is because it's a familiar building.
Right.
Like I actually have clues.
Wait, what was the thing we had
Like specific clues.
Yeah, it's doing like, hair.
So yeah, did you go to the front?
Yeah. But there's another tour.
They all stop. Oh, there's our great picture. Look at that.
Oh, what ink is that?
How close is it? That's a great picture right there. That's social media plug-in for me. Sure can. You get a picture of you, I'll take a picture of the picture.
Come on, look up, pretty. someone wants to take a picture, that's going crazy.
Yeah, let's get that camera over here, the digital.
Oh my god, I just pointed at this guy on it.
She's got a lot going on here. The batteries are dying too, I can see it.
Yeah, it is.
I just changed those two.
How many help? How many hold?
Again, I don't see any motion or EMF patterns ever. If I do, something else is giving me a word. Where are we at on the word list? Cats. There's some cat that likes to follow me around in here. I haven't seen him yet. Yeah, that's only 2 minutes ago.
What was the point you were saying about being a pirate?
I think there's tropics on the other side.
Did you ever miss home?
It's called the neighborhood house because that's based on this house. It's been waiting to move into for Dr. years now. So there's a house back there. And a lot of people have that and just know that he lived here in with the Dr. years.
What was the name of his ship?
His name was Nicholas as well. So again, with the judges, his name was Nicholas. Like one of those things that just shows up, and I was talking about the Dr. here and the black cat. Vaguely loose. My name shows up around there. The word trot comes through. I know. Again, sometimes it was like really vague, but hopefully whatever you have will tie into whatever Elias has on her recording, and I'll click up, be able to click them together. So again, sometimes that's where the wreck, other times I have a lot of other pieces on this one. That's a 2,000 piece overnight, so you gotta move them all around and see where they fit. No, I know. But once I get everything plugged in and uploaded, it's usually about 1 o'clock. By the time I get all that uploaded, and then I come up at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Try to be done by noon. See what happens.
Like the word hawk or like king hawk or something.
King Hawk?
Yeah.
The
I
word,
just keep asking what like it was called.
it was called the Kingston.
Because I keep getting king and then hawk.
Well, again, I'm not expecting Kingston to come through. I'm expecting King. So nice job. Nice work. That's a good one. Definitely take that. That is nuts. Who did you bring with you? You brought the whole ship?
I think so. That's true.
I'm excited about that King Hawk. Like, we haven't had anything for a while.
I wonder where the hawk goes.
Doesn't matter. So, with these being slowed down, the explanation I give is like, think of December. What color is the barn? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need red. So the fact that it's slowed down to give us King Hawk, they have the word king. I'm satisfied. Like, that's enough. You ask a direct question, you got a direct answer. I know it seems like some of this stuff is reaching, but like
So
a lot
like the
of words-
20%. But
Could
you
be.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the 20, not the percent. Which is like if I said 20%, you're looking at 20, not
not the 8. Again, we have a lot of very loosely related terms on the list. I can't tie them up and say that that's concrete unless something else ties it together. But like, this is obviously real time. Like, I can't make this stuff up at all. And she's not close to anything. She's not close to the building. She's not close to the electrical lights over there. She's just got somebody chilling with her. And the wind is not going to make it go off. I tested it as soon as I got it because I was gonna, like, I'm using this thing outside. People are going to say it's the wind. That's nuts. The fact that it's been pretty much steady. Has it gone anything past blue, which would be purple and red?
One time.
Okay. Now I say that, there it goes. Very interesting.
but the numbers haven't gone up past maybe 2.1%.
Okay. Again, the fact that you're getting anything is an It's not a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting.
They're not in the box.
Yeah, I know. She's like, why are
I
you?
might have to hire you. Make you a tour guide. She's repeated a lot of the things that I've said tonight in my mornings, or this just caught on really quick.
I'm just a know-it-all.
So I'm gonna leave Kristen's device running as I start to collect all the others, just because she has so much going on. This way you guys can answer or ask me any kind of questions that you guys want to. I think you guys pretty much got the basics of my life, as we were moving around. That is crazy.
Wow.
Now it's Morse code.
I was going to say, send me a message.
So, what will happen from here? I do have an appointment in the morning, so I will do everything I can to get your data back to you by noon. So, let's start with yours, Ricky, just because it has its own separate pocket. Again, I stay up so I can get everything uploaded, and then I start going through it in the morning. With my appointment in the morning, it may interrupt that, so it might be 2 or 3 o'clock. Please don't panic on me. But I do get it back to you the same day. Fingers crossed that our thermal imaging is going to work out for us. My group last night gave me so many little videos that it actually locked me out of my YouTube account to wait 24 hours before I was allowed to upload anything else. So I had to upload theirs from the previous night plus all of yours and piece them together. So again, fingers crossed everything works out. Just kind of giving you guys that heads up because everybody wants to watch the videos first normally, especially when you have a long car ride or plane ride home. We'll just kind of go around the horn and I'll just start taking yours. What was the last term that popped up? We do have lover, and it says restrict lover. So,
And I asked if they were lovers.
we did. Now we have the word poetry, which I just told you the story of the doctor across the street. See, this is why you guys are going to tell me everything. The doctor across the street actually wrote poetry while he was here, talking about his life in Charleston and Amanda. Those poems were actually published after he died. His sister published them. So you can actually buy it on Amazon. I'll end up sending you the link right across the street from the story. So it's that relative stuff that I look for. Now stuff wants to pop up as I'm packing it all up, right? All right, right around the horn. So Michael will take your camera. Go ahead and stop the video.